Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's DAF, Bava Metzia Pei Vav. We are holding on Pei Hey Amid Beis, 2 lines off the bottom of the Amid. Havaka Mitztair, Rebbe who was the compiler of the Mishnayos, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, he was endeavoring, he was making all effort, lemismeche, to apply smicha to Shmuel, who was the Rosh Yeshiva in Naharda, who the Gemara refers to as Shmuel Yarchi Na'ah. He was an expert in the Yareach and the moon and lunar system. In fact, he was an expert in celestial, various celestial bodies as well. He was an expert in astronomy, and he was an expert doctor as well, as we find here, where he healed the Rebbe's eyes. The Rebbe wanted to get him to the point of smicha, which will give him, more power to enforce his judgments, his decisions. And v'lo have a mistayim also. It just wasn't working out. Rashi says, it was an unsettled time, or you couldn't get the chachamim together and offer him the smicha status by consensus, so it didn't work out. Amar Lei, so Shmuel, seeing Rebbe's efforts on his behalf, turned to Rebbe and he said, let's start Mar, don't be distressed about it. It's not meant to be. It's not ordained. L'didi chazili, sifra. In fact, I saw the sefer of the Adam Arishan, Adam Arishan's sefer, where Hashem showed Adam Harishan everything that's going to transpire, all the leaders of all the future leaders in Klal Yisrael, who's going to be the Chacham, who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the right Uksiv Bey, and in that list I found my own name, Shmuel, and I'm referred to as Shmuel Yarchi Na'ah. That's it. No Rebbe, no Harav, which pretty much tells me that Chacham Yiskarei, right? And this is what it said in the Sefer. It says Shmuel Yarchi Na'ah, Chacham Yiskarei, Rebbe Lo Yiskarei. He'll be referred to as a Chacham, as a wise man, right? Big Talmud Chacham, astronomer, doctor. Rebbe Lo Yiskarei, but not Rebbe. He will not have the title of Rebbe. That's it. And guess what? Va'asoi, the Rebbe. Al Yodei Tehei. Va'asoi, the Rebbe. The healing, the remedies, right, of Rebbe will come through Shmuel, as we found in the story with the eyes, right? V'asa the Rebbe, the healing of Rebbe will come about through him. So everything was preordained, everything is predestined. I'm meant to be called Shmuel Yarchi Na'ah, and that's it. What else was there? What else is contained in this sefer of Adam Arishan? It says like this: Rebbe, right? That was Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, Vir Rabbi Nassan. They will be at the tail end of the Tanaic era, right? At the end of the Tanaim, Soif Mishnah, right? So they're going to be the end of the Tanaim, and Rashi explains that until that point, things were not really organized in the way we have them today, the Mishnayos and the Masechtas. Basically, everybody, all the Tanaim would come into the Beis Medrash and would relate their personal halachas that they heard from their Rebbeim, and it was just studied in that fashion. It wasn't compiled, it wasn't organized in the way we have it today, and that was done by Rebbe and Rabbi Nassan and the Chacham at that time to make it organized for future generations. Rav Ashi v'Ravina, so these two Amoraim, Soif Hara. Rashi says Soif Hara means Soif of all the Amoraim. So until that point, the concept of Gemara was not a really organized format like we have it today. Basically, if you had a question on the the halacha mentioned in the Mishnah, it would be discussed, it would be debated. Likewise, all kinds of interesting shilas would come up based on circumstances that arose throughout the years, and the Amoraim would respond and would relate halachas that they knew from their teachers. And Rav Ashi and Ravina decided to be Masada, to organize it in a very, precise way. Like you have the Mishnayos, and next to every Mishnah you have halachos and concepts and questions relating to that, to the content of that Mishnah, and everything was organized and established as Gemara, the way we have it today, in organized Masechtos. Rashi says they would have all the questions, and Esvei and Meisei and Armini, all these questions and discussions were gathered together, were organized the way we have it today. And that was all done by Ravina and Rav Ashi, Soif Hara, who lived at the end of this era. V'simonech. And actually it's hinted in a pasuk, this idea that Ravina and Rav Ashi will do this. Ad avai el migdashei kel avino la'achrisam. Says Rashi that migdashei kel is like Rav Ashi, right? It has a shin of Rashi, and the word avina is like Ravina. So la'achrisa means this is going to be the end, the conclusion of that era of Klal Yisrael, the Tkufa of the Amoraim, and the sort of sealing of the Gemara format that we have today. Rav Chana, Ishtoili Rav Chama told me the following story. His name was Rav Chama bar Barti de Chasa. He was the son of Chasa's daughter, a grandson of Chasa. And he said like this: Rabbi Bar Nachmani, right, the great Amoira Rabbi Bar Nachmani, Agav Shimda, because of the terrible decree, the Shmad decree, right? Rashi says, Machmas Emas Malchus Meis. So Shamda here is a reference to the decrees of the Roman authorities that brought about his death. Agav Shamda Noch Nafshe. What happened? Achlu Be Kurza Be Malka. Somebody snitched on him. So Achlu Be Kurza is a reference to Lashon Hara. Sometimes they would sit down and party when there was Lashon Hara, related. So that's why, this Lashon Achlu Be Kurza is a way of referring to somebody informing on him with the authorities. Be Malka. Amr, and they said like this: Ika Chad Gavri Doi. There is a certain individual, a leader amongst the Jews, the Komavatal Tresa Alpha Gavim Yisrael. He is basically distracting 12,000 members of Klal Yisrael, and keeping them away from the tax authorities and causing them to avoid paying taxes. Yarcha B'kaita, 1 month, during springtime, during summertime, that's Pesach time, when they gather together to hear the drashos in anticipation for the Yom Tov of Pesach. So then they're learning, and they're busy learning, V'yacha B'sisva, and likewise a month during the fall, Tishrei time, where they gather together, Yarchei Kala, to learn, right? So he's keeping them away, Mikarga, from paying their head taxes, because tax collectors are not finding them at home, they can't catch up to them, so they're avoiding taxes. Mikarga the Malka. Shadru Priso, they wanted to arrest him as the head tax evader. Shadru Pistago the Malka Basrei, so they sent an agent, the king's sheriff, to catch up with him to arrest him. Shadru Priska the Malka Basrei, he couldn't find him. Arak v'azal b'pumbedisal akra. So Rabbi Nachmani, who was the leader that was being pursued here, because of his drashos and because of his, so he got word of the fact that they were pursuing him, and he escaped. Arak v'azal, he went b'pumbedisal akra, from one town to the other, ma'akra la'agma, from akra to agma, ma'akra l'shchin, u'meshchin he went l'tzrifa, mitzrifa la'ena d'mayim, me'ena d'mayim. He went back to Pumpadisa. And actually, when he came back to Pumpadisa after this roundabout trip, the king's sheriff caught up with him. What happened? What was the story? It so happens to be that the sheriff caught up with him because he was visiting, he was staying at the same the same hotel as Rabbi happened to be staying, right? And this was totally unknown to him, right? That Rabbi was there. So how did he discover that Rabbi happened to be staying there? Kribu Taku Kameh. They were serving this government official. They brought a table to him. Everybody used to have their own personal tables, right? So he had his table, Vashku, Trei Kasi, and he took a drink of wine, another drink. So he had a total of 2. 2 is a dangerous number because that's called zugais, pairs. And the Gemara Pesachim speaks about this in great length. Pairs, the concept of zugais, can be dangerous because it evokes the idea of corresponding powers. Kaviyachal, we have zelu mazeh, so it sort of triggers the powers of koiches hatuma, and it can make a person susceptible to harm and injury by those powers. So basically, this fellow got involved in zugais because he drank 2 kaises. Vidal yuha letaka mekamei, right? And they removed the table. He was done his meal. Hada partuv al, and suddenly his face twisted backwards. So he was harmed. He was injured because he drank 2 glasses of wine. They didn't intend on doing this to him. It just happened. Amrulay, so the hotel, proprietors got all nervous that they're going to be arrested for harming the king's, Amrulay man, what should we do to him? So they basically went to the tzaddik Rabbah who was staying at the hotel, and they quickly, what should we do? How can we fix this up? Gavra the Malko, he's the king's official, and we quickly have to get this thing, organized. Amar Lucy told him, look, very simple. Add another glass of wine. You're done. Kribu takel kameh. Bring back his table. Vashkiu chat kasa, and give him another glass of wine to drink for a total of 3. So that cancels the zugais concern. Vidalyu letaka mekameh, and then remove his table. V'litzi, and that should heal him. Avdulei hachi. So they followed his instructions. V'itzi, and he was healed. So now the official realized something was amiss. They were getting instructions from some great man, some real wise person. Amar, so he declared, I'm fully aware of the fact that there's a great man in this property. The Gavra, the Kabina Hachahu, actually, he guessed that the person that he was pursuing, Rabbah, the great man, is to be found on these premises. He looked for him and he found him. Amar, he said like this, I'm not going to arrest you right now. I respect you too much for that, but I don't want to put myself in grave danger. Amar Azul Maha, I'm going to leave this town, right? I'm going to go back home. Now, if they threaten to kill me, unless I divulge your whereabouts, let me go. I'm going to resist. I'm not going to reveal. I'm going to let them kill me. I'm willing to do that for you because I recognize your greatness. I'm not going to hand you over, but torture I can't really tolerate. Nagidi menagdin lay, but if they torture him, in reference to himself, migalina, I'm going to be prompt. I'm just going to be forced to reveal your whereabouts. So look, I'm going to put you in this room in the meantime, pending further developments. Asur kamei. So they brought Rabbah to the official Aila Ladruna, and he put him into this small room, Ladruna, V'tarki l'bava banpeh, and he locked the door. Okay, so he sort of like put him into temporary arrest, pending further developments. Boy rachmi, so Rabbah davened to Hashem, parak ashisa, the wall collapsed, arak, he escaped, v'azal agma, he went to the local swamp to hide out. Havayas v'agirda, he was sitting down on this chopped off, stump, did the kula, this chopped palm tree, with Kagaras, and he was learning. And at that very moment, there was a big machlokes, a big discussion up in Yeshiva Shalmala. Kamiflagi b'mesifta derukia, in the Yeshiva and Shamayim, they were having a discussion. So, if a person experiences a nega, right, a white blotch that has in it, right, that grew white hair is a siman tuma, that makes it tummy. Now what happens if imbaheres koidemes laser lavan, if the white mark preceded the white hair? So basically the nega produced the white hair within it. Tameh, that's an indication of tumah. Okay, that's pretty clear. Vim seir lavan koidem baheres, but if the white hair preceded the presence of the baheres, of the nega, then it's Torah, because it's unrelated to the experience of the nega. Safek. Let's say we're unsure what came first. So how do we treat it? Is he tahar because he was tahar until now, he had a chazaka to be tahar? Or do we say no? White hair is an indication of tumah, chances are it was produced by the nega. The There was a machlokes between HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Omer Tahar, he says this fellow is Tahar, V'kulu, Mesifta the Rukiya, Amri Tami, but everybody else in the Yeshiva Shamala opined that he is Tami. So there was big machlokes, but Amri, the question was, Ma Noichach, who's going to tilt the scale, who's going to determine the halach? Noichach, Rabba, Bar Nachmani, so it was unanimously decided to have Rabba Bar Nachmani rule on this question. Da'amar Rabba Bar Nachmani, as Rabba himself said, Ani Yochad ben Negoyim, Ani Yochad be'Alais, I'm the expert in Negoyim and Tumah. So, Shalchu Shlicha Basrei. So in Shemaim they sent a Shliach to bring him up, right? V'lo Yehava Matzi Malach HaMavis, L'mikra v'lei. Problem is, the Malach HaMavis could not get close to him. Why? He was saturated with Torah. His mouth wouldn't stop uttering words of Torah out there in the forest. So how can we get him up here in Shemayim to help us out? So as this was happening, this strong wind started blowing. Perhaps it was generated by the Malach HaMavis. Va'avish beini kanen. There was this great noise, amongst the reeds who were swaying back and forth. So he thought, that the king's troops are coming to arrest him. Savar Gunda the Parshi, he figured it was a group of soldiers. Amar, so he davened to Hashem, Teinach nafshi da ugavra, I wish that I die, rather than being handed over to the authorities. Okay, as he was passing away, Amar, so he got wind of what's going on in Shemayim at that moment, and he responded, Tahar, I rule that this fellow with the nega is Tahar. Amar, Tahar, Tahar. Right? Repeated it twice. Tahar, Tahar. Yotza Baskal V'Amra, at that point a heavenly voice rings out, Ashrecha Rabba Bar Nachmani, lucky, you, Rabba Bar Nachmani, Shagufcha Tahar, your body is Tahar, V'yotza Nishmascha B'Tahar, and your neshama left your body as you were saying the word Tahar. Nafal Piska Merakir. So at that point he passed away and he was lying there in the open. How's he going to get buried? So a note came down from Shemayim, and some learn, the Maharal learns that it's not to be taken literally. There's no papers flying down. It means to say that the Chachamim sort of got this, intuition within themselves. He says a yediyah in the lave of the Adam is called a piska, basically a heavenly message. Bippo Badisa, in the town from Badisa, that you should know Rabbi Bar Nachmani has passed away in his Bakish, B'Yeshiva Shomala. He was summoned to the heavenly yeshiva and he passed away. Time to find him and bury him. Abaye Barabba, B'Kul Rabbanon, Nafko, Abaye Barabba, B'Kul Rabbanon. So all the Chacham went out to find him and bury him. They didn't know exactly where he was lying. So he went out to the swamp there. Chazut Safri, they saw an interesting abnormal phenomenon. They see tzipari, birds, fluttering, hovering, the metali, hovering and generating this shady spot beneath them, bekaimi, and they're standing there like sort of in place. Amri, they figured shmamina hasamhu, they figured he must be lying beneath the birds who are shading him. So they made this grand hesped, 3 days and 3 nights, nafal piska, and they wanted to leave and go back home. And again, a message from Shemayim arrives that it's not time yet. Kalaperish, whoever leaves and stops the hesped, the hebenida, he should be excommunicated. Basically, you got to keep on going on account of Rabba Bar Nachmani's greatness. Savdu shiva yaimi. They continued on for a total of 7 days. Nafal piska. Then they got a message from Shemayim, the Chul, basically Mashalom, go home in peace. That very day that Rabba passed away, Dali Zapa, there was this great stormy wind. Vidari, Laotaya. So this great wind picked up, lifted this Arab merchant who was Kirachab Gamla, who was riding on his camel. Ma'agisa den Papa, he lifted him from one side of the Papa River, Vishadi Bachisa, and tossed him onto the other side. Amar, he said, what's going on here? Amar, they told him, Nafshi the Rabbi Nachman, don't you know? This great tzaddik Rabbi passed away today. Amar Lafanov. So he turned to Hashem Rebbeinu Shalom. Kuli Alma Didachu. The whole world belongs to you. Rabbi Nachmani Didach. Rabbi is yours as well. At the Rabbi, you love Rabbi. Rabbi Didach. Rabbi loves you. Right? So it's a time of misfortune because he left the world, but Rabbi loves you and he certainly doesn't want you to destroy the world on his account. Why are you destroying the world? Nachzapa, his tefillah was accepted and things calmed down. Says the Gemara, one more anecdote regarding the Chachamim who are actually large in size. This relates back to a couple of days ago where we spoke about a similar topic. Rabbi Shimon Mechalafta Bal Basar Hava, he was heavy in size. Yoim Achad Hava Chamim Alei. So one day he was getting pretty hot and he needed to cool off. Hava Solak V'Yosef. So he climbed up and he sat down Ashina the Torah on top of the mountain to get some ventilation. Amar Lo Lebarte. So he asked his daughter, Beauty, my daughter, Hanifi Alai B'Manifa, please, can you please wave this, hand fan on me? Vani etan lech kikrin denerd. I'll pay you with bundles of these perfumes. Adahachi. By the time this happened, nashva zika, a pleasant breeze came by and cooled him off, and he didn't need this, personal service anymore. Omar, he said, look what Hashem provides for free. Kama kikrin denerd lemar dichi. How many bundles of nerd are due to the mast, the one who generated this wind, and this is meant to generate a feeling of appreciation for all that Hashem does for us. Okay, back to the Mishnah. A fellow hired some workers, Hakolim Kiminig Medina. So regarding feeding them, you follow the common practice, the common laws, the common minhagim. What is Hakoil? Everything is meant to follow the Minig Medina. What's that coming to add? Hakoil Asuyimai. Lasuyim Ba'asud Nehigi Michrach Rifta. It's come to include the following. In a place where the minig is to provide the workers with bread, rifta, mishta, anpuka, and some amount of juice, of drink, of wine, whatever. And that's meant to be provided to them before. You give them before they start working, right? So let's say they come to work at daybreak, right? So you sit down, give them a sort of a breakfast, and then they start. That's the accepted practice. So in this case, the Amar Lahu, let's say he proposes to them, I'll provide this, but come a little bit early, before daybreak, so that you're done your breakfast by the time daybreak arrives, and get started. No, Amar Lai. So they can tell him, you have no right to do that, because we follow the law of the land, so the food arrives after an Eitz HaChama, we sit down for breakfast, and then we start working. So standard practice was to provide them with, their food. And there was a story. Maaseh Rabbi Yehuda ben Masya, he asked his son to hire some workers, and he went out and he hired them, and he told them, look, I'm going to provide some food for you, right? So the father, Rabbi Yehuda ben Masya, quickly told his son to go back and cancel the order, because he says, look, you're going to be upended. Whatever you give them, it's not enough. Right? Because even if you provide for them, the most royal gourmet spread, it's not enough, because they're Bnei Yisrael, Bnei Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, who are entitled to the most beautiful Suda. Now, the thing is that the Mishnah had already told us that we're meant to follow the accepted norms, accepted practice, which is a basic meal. So why was he concerned about having to spend that extra, masa lister? Since when does a person bring a story to contradict himself? You just told me, now you're saying you owe them much more. The Mishnah is meant to be learned as though it's missing some words. You read it like this. Sure, standard is hakoil k'minhag Medina, right? So you follow whatever the accepted norms are, right? But v'im pasak lehen mezainos. But let's say you actually stipulate to them. You tell them, look, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to give them food, give you lunch. So why'd you do that? Rashi says, since he didn't have to stipulate that, it was understood that v'asni, and he did stipulate. Apparently, he's come to add more than the standard. Mizaini yiseri amar. He's adding more. Now, it's open-ended. How much? And that was a concern. Riba lahen, says the Gemara. By stipulating, you've added to your commitment. Umasanami. In fact, this concept is supported by this story. Rabbi Yehuda ben Masya, Sha'amal who in fact informed his son, requested of his son, say, go on hire some workers. V'halach u'pasak lem mezonos, and he went and he hired, but he also added that he's going to pay for their meal, which he didn't have to do. So when he comes back to father, he tells him, "B'ni, my son, afilato islan." You know, even if you'll provide for them the grandest meals, like Shlomo HaMelech in his heyday, you're not going to be fulfilling your obligation with them. You know why? They deserve more. They can claim that they're Shem Bnei Avram, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. They're children of the Avos. And therefore, they deserve more than Shlomo HaMelech's meal. Why? Because, as we're going to see, Avram Avinu's spread was even more grand than Shlomo HaMelech. Says the Gemara, really? Let's compare the two two sudas. L'meimra, the sudasa that Avram Avinu. Do you mean to say the suda that Avram Avinu provided for the malachim? Adifim with the shleima is even greater than Shlomo HaMelech. Look by shleima, it says they used an immense amount of material. Vahi lechem shleima liyam echad. Shlomo HaMelech's one day bread supply was shloishim kur seilas, 60 kur of seilas, ushishim kur kemach, asara bakar brim, asara bakar roya me'etzayin. A huge amount of food and animals. Levad ma'ayil, tzvi achmer, barbur mavusim, these stuffed birds. Va'amar Gurian ben Istayan, he quoted Rab, Mishmei Rab. Although we speak about all this flour, halal milan shel tabachim, wasn't even for the bread. It was just to spread over the pots that were cooking these huge volumes of meat, so that they would spread some paste, some dough on top to absorb some of the runoff, some of the waste or whatever that needed to be separated off the meat. So basically, it was just like used as a sponge. That wasn't even for the bread. For the bread, you need way more. All this flour discussed in this pasuk was just to mix into the dishes. It wasn't even for the bread. Rabbi Yitzchak added, as we know, had 1,000 wives. Kol achas va'achas. All this volume was per woman. Each wife prepared for him this amount in her home. My time, you know why? They don't know where he's going to come for lunch. Zu Svura, she was thinking, Shema Etzli. Maybe he'll dine with me today. Vuzu Svura, and the other one thought, Shema Etzli, maybe he's dining with me. So basically, this is a huge amount of food, and by Avram Avinu, we don't find this immense amount. V'ilu gabe Avram Avinu, what does it say there? Ksiv ela bakar otz Avram. So he ran to the bakar, vayikach ben bakar, rach v'toiv, right? V'am Rav Yudam Rav, okay, ben bakar echad. Right? It says ben bakar, rach v'toiv, denoting that there were 3 animals slaughtered right then. Ben bakar is 1, rach, a young soft animal, is shnai, the second one, v'toiv, the word v'toiv, shloisha. So basically he had 3 animals that were shechted, and that's it. And here we have a huge amount, 10 bakar, 100 tzayin. I mean, how could you compare? Why is the Mishnah highlighting Avram Avinu's Suda, where we find Shlomo HaMelech was really more grand? Answers the Gemara, depends on how many customers you have at the meal. Look, Hasam tlasa Torah tlasa Gavri. Certainly Avram proportionally was more than Shlomo HaMelech, because in terms of how many eaters, there were 3 animals for 3 people, for 3 malachim. So 1 per person. Hachal Chol Yisrael Yehuda. True, Shlomo HaMelech's total quantity was grander, but he was serving a huge amount of people. The Chol Yisrael Yehuda Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Yehuda Yisrael Rab Chol Asher Sfas Hayam. So he had a huge crowd. So proportionally, Avram Avinu's Suda was grander, and that's why the Mishnah makes reference to that Suda. Now the pasuk by Shlomo mentions barburim avusim, these stuffed birds. What are those? My barburim avusim. We have several explanations. Amar Rav sha'ivsim oisen bal karchan. They would force feed them. Yishmol amar shavusim ba'odim aleim. They would stuff themselves on their own. It wasn't a forced thing. It was a natural overstuffing, which is actually healthier and perhaps halachically more acceptable. Rabbi Yehuda amar mevin toyer mar isai. It's referring to the following. They bring a animal, a shor, from where it grazes, but the le'onis, he was never, put to work, right? So he's a calm, easygoing, healthy animal. Tanagolas mashpasa, but la'anisa, likewise, they brought chicken from its, ashpa, from where, from the garbage, basically, a free for all, free running animal. And that's what they used to use, and these were tastier and healthier. The best quality animal, what's the best of the animals to eat is a shur ox. The best amongst the birds is a chicken. So he has another shot for baburim avusim. Zagta uchmasa. We're talking about a black chicken, beibat nisa, with a large belly. The mashtakha beini atzori, which is to be found amongst the wine presses. So it dines on grape skins, and it gets pretty plump and healthy. It's so big and heavy it can't even cross over, spread its legs far apart to get over a reed, a stick. So it's basically a slow-moving vehicle because of its plumpiness. Okay, on the topic of Avram Avinu serving the Malachim, we have a pasuk, Vela Bakar Ratz Avram. Omar Bidam Rav, like we said before, it's a reference to three separate animals that he shechted. Ben Bakar is Echad, is one animal, Rach is Shnaim, the second one, B'toiv, is Shleisha, a total of three. How do we know? Ve'ema Chad Kedamar Inchi. Maybe Rach V'toiv is really just one. As people say, Rachich V'tav, a soft, good quality animal. So how do we know the total of three? Imkain, if it were so lichtoiv, it would say Rach Toiv. A Rach Toiv. My Vitoiv. Rach Vitoiv sounds like it's an additional animal, Shmam al-Drasha, to teach you that a total of three. Asks the Gemara, okay, so Vitoiv is a separate animal, but maybe it's still just two. Right? Emetrei, because Ben Bakar Rach is one, and Vitoiv is another one. So it's just two, not three. The answer is Midatoiv l'drasha, since the word toiv is for a drasha, for a separate animal. So now you're left with Ben Bakar Rach, right? That's not usually the way people describe an animal. Ben Bakar Rach. It's usually Ben Bakar Rach v'toiv. So Ben Bakar Rach toiv. So the fact that we're sort of separating v'toiv, leaving us with Ben Bakar Rach, which is not a normal way of expression. So apparently Rach nami l'drasha, the word Rach is also sort of a separate entity. So you have Ben Bakar is one, Rach is two, and V'toiv is three. Masav Rabba Barula. He had a kash on this. V'tema some say of Isha, V'tema some say of Nasma Reisha. We say it's a total of three animals. V'yiten al nar, v'yimar lasas oisai. So he gave it to the nar, to the youngster, to Shishmal, and he prepared it. Oisai. Singular. Apparently there was only one animal there, not three. The answer is, one at a time. As he prepared it, he served it. Kol chad v'chad. Yavel. So he gave each one to the nar separately, right? Kol chad v'chad yahavel nar chad. Right. Each animal was given separately to a separate nar to prepare. Vayika chema v'chalav uben abakar savitin lefneihem. So again, it sounds like uben abakar, just one animal is being served. So here we say again the kama de matya. Right, as the items were prepared and done, Aisel Kamayu, it was presented to the Malachim one at a time, but of course, at the end of the day, we have three. So why Taka? Why did they have to give them three animals? I mean, three people, one animal per person, right? Tiski b'chad, one animal is enough for all three. Amrav Chan Barava, he was doing Achnasa Sarcham on the grandest level. Kedei la'achilon, the reason why he slaughtered three in order to feed them shalosh l'shoines b'chardo, three tongues, right? A gourmet item dipped in chardal and mustard. So for that you need three separate animals. For the first three diners. Amar Rabbi Tancha Bar Chaim Loi. A person should always stick to the local customs. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim where there's no food and drink, and he joined them in abstaining from food and drink. Likewise, Malachi Ashoris Yod Lamata. When the Malachim came down to Avram Avinu, they didn't need to eat, but they prepared to eat. And they ate with Avram Avinu. What do you mean they actually ate? Malachim Elaima rather means Niru. They made themselves look. It looked like they were eating and drinking. Amar Abida Marav Kolma, and miraculously the food sort of like disappeared as they were doing it, right? Amar Abida Marav Kolma Sha'asa Avram L'Malchi Ashoris Ba'atzmai. If we go through all the different activities, different things that Avraham Avinu did with respect to the Malachim, we find that in some cases it was done directly. He did it personally. In some, it was done through an intermediary. And we find correspondingly that when Klal Yisrael was rewarded for these great deeds, so an act of kindness that was done directly, personally, they got a higher level of schar for than otherwise. Whatever Avraham Avinu did himself to the Malachim, likewise Hashem personally Kaviyachal provided for his children in the Midbar, for Klal Yisrael. In contrast to all those acts that Avraham Avinu did through a shliach, likewise Hashem did it through an intermediary, which is like this. Avraham Avinu personally provided for those animals, right? He personally served went to get the animals. Likewise, when Klal Yisrael needed, birds and meat, Hashem himself provided for the Klal Yisrael. Avraham Avinu himself served he got the bread, right? And the chama and the chalav and everything, right? So actually there was no bread because Rashi says it became tummy, but whatever was left, he personally served, right? He personally took, and he sent to the Malachim, right? Right? He personally served it. So likewise Hashem, when it came to serving Klal Yisrael bread, Hashem personally provided Klal Yisrael with bread. Avraham Avinu personally stood next to them under the tree, and correspondingly we have Hashem, Hashem positioned himself by that rock when it came time to provide water for Klal Yisrael. And Avraham Avinu personally accompanied them out. Hashem accompanied Klal Yisrael with the Amud Ha'anan. So all these were directly done, but Yukach Namat Mayim, right? Water provision was provided through a shliach. Avraham Avinu asked others to do it. Likewise, when it came to providing Klal Yisrael water supply, V'kisa Batsur, V'yotzu Meno Mayim Shasa'am, Hashem instructs Moshe Rabbeinu, right, to provide water for Klal Yisrael. Says the more Pliga, the Rab Chama Bar Chanina. In one detail we find dispute, because Rab Chama Bar Chanina has a slightly different account. The Amar Rab Chama Bar Chanina, V'chein Ton V'Shmol, B'schar Shleisha Zachol L'Shleisha. That on account of 3 great deeds performed by Avraham Avinu, Klal Yisrael was zoicha to 3 aspects of reward. B'schar, chema v'cholav, right? Because of the chema v'cholav that Avraham Avinu provided, so cholaman, they got them on. Okay, this is as we said before. B'schar, b'oimid aleim, because of his, standing and watching over them, zochol amuda anan. So we got the amuda anan, which is different than we said before. Before we said that b'schus that we got Hashem standing by the tzur. So in this one detail has a different approach. And finally we have b'schar yigachamat mayim, because of the water. Zochol be'erish Miriam, we were zeicha to the wellspring of Miriam, which provided water, which is exactly as we said before. Okay, yukach namat mayim, v'raksu agleichem. So he instructed them to wash their feet. Why? Amar B'yana Rabbi Shmuel, Amar Loy, so the malachim / people responded to him, V'chi ba'arvim chashadetanu? You're suspecting us of being Arabs, Shem Yishtach from Lar HaKolim, who bowed to the dust of their feet. That's their Avodah Zarah. Kvar Yotza Menu Yishmael. Out of you already came Yishmael, who's going to have that too. Already has that practice. Going to have that practice of the Yishmaelim. So basically, it was like sort of a tit for tat. Midah keneged midah. Marsha says, based on the Gemara and Shabbos, Hachoshid b'ksherim like a begufa. If one suspects a person, unjustifiably suspects a person of wrongdoing, it can turn back on him, and that's what happened over here. Hashem revealed himself to Avraham Avinu, who was sitting in the doorway of his tent in the heat, in the blazing heat. Why are we highlighting the fact that it was hot? Shel Avram Haya was actually the third day of his bris, when things are very difficult and painful. Avram got a visitor. Hashem came to inquire with him, to visit him. And at the same time, Hashem removed the sun from its envelope, basically sun at full blaze, so that Avram Avinu, the tzaddik, should not be burdened with hosting guests. So Hashem Hashem increased the heat, thermostat on high. Shadr Eliezer. So Avram Avinu didn't suffice with that, and he actually sent out his servant Lamefak Lebrot to go outside to find some wayfarers. Nafak Ashkach. He goes out, nobody's around. Omar, he says, I don't believe you, I don't trust you. Because perhaps you're just trying to protect me. As they say over there in Yisrael, you can't trust slaves. Nafak you. So Avram Avinu himself went out to check. And he notices Hashem's Shechina at the doorway. As it says, please don't leave me. Right? So he's referring to the presence of the Shechina. Once Hashem notices that he's opening up and he's tying and opening his bandage, Amar, Hashem says, it's not their to stand there, it's not dignified. And that's what the pasuk means when it says Vayisa Eina Vayar Vehine Shloisha Anoshim Tzavim Allah Vayar Vayars the Krasa. So what does this mean? What does this mean that he saw them there and then he ran towards them? Mikar also Kamu Ale. Initially the three visitors came next to him. But once they saw that he was busy with his bandage, they said, no, it's not the right time. It's not appropriate for us to stay here. And they backed away, and then he ran after them to get them back. Who are these three individuals? Three malachim. One was Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. And each one had his own mission, his own task to fulfill. Michael, Shabbat Basar, Sarah came to inform Sarah of the upcoming child. Raphael, Shabbat Rapis Avram. Raphael, true to his name, right, came to be Merape Avram, heal him of his wound. And Gabriel, which is Lashon of Gvura, of strictness, of strength, Azal Mapich L'Staim, his job was to turn over Staim and punish them. But Ksib, says the Gemara, so it was only meant to be done by one Malach. By Avo Shnei Malachim Sedaim Be'erev. Both Malachim, two Malachim came to Staim, so it was more than just one Malach Gabriel. The answer is the Azal Mechal Ba'adei L'Sheis V'Leloit. After Mechal finished his first task of informing Sarah, now he again joined Gabriel over the Staim to save Loit from the mishap. The Ekonami Dechsiv, and it's clear in the pasuk that in fact the actual overturning of Staim was perpetuated by one single Malach. Dechsiv Vayafech, singular Lashon Yachad. He did it. Vayafech is Armeil. V'Loksiv Vayafech. It doesn't say they overturned it. Shema, no, it's clearly done by one person, by one Malach. One more difference in the L'Shainis. Ma'ishna l'gabi Avram. Why by Avram it says Dechsiv Kein Tasa Kasher Debarta, when he offered them food and drink, they accepted it. By Loit, when he invited them in, he had to insist that they accept his offer. Initially, they refused it. Why? We learn from Eshem, when a regular, ordinary person offers you something, it's derech eretz to not to accept it right away, to sort of, politely refuse. When it comes to a great man like Avraham Avinu, you don't refuse it. He offers it, take it, out of respect for the tzaddik. Okay, that pretty much wraps up today's daf. So we have the story about Shmuel, the story about the Sefer of Adam HaRishon, who foresaw, all the developments throughout the generations of Klal Yisrael in the world. We learned about the story of Rabbi Bar Nachmani, Leposek Pumi Girsa, and ultimately went up to Shemayim to decide on this question of the Safek Nega. We learned about the Suda of Shlomo HaMelech, Suda of Ram Avinu, tremendous Achmasas Archim, and all the tremendous acts of kindness that he did, which generated rewards for Klal Yisrael down the road. All the best, Yonat Tzlachara.